What's up, guys? Welcome back to Clutch City Roundtable. I am Bridget Falcone, joined by Tyler Milner and Orion Lewis for the last episode of 2019. Sad, but we're definitely going to make it a good one for you guys. So we got a lot to get to. To kick things off, the Texans were able to clinch victory against the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. I want to go ahead and take both of y'all's keys to victory for this game. Tyler, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought it was super important for us to do something on the ground, and we did that. We had 140 total yards on the ground. Carlos Hyde went crazy. He had a great day, over 100 yards, 104. Big TD. We were like 10 yards out, and he ran one in. So he did a really great job and actually got to 1,000 yards on the season.
Yeah, kudos to him.
That day, yeah. So Bob, B.O.B. is looking like a pretty good GM, bringing Hyde in, you know. But yeah, it was a great game on the ground, and we held Henry in check, which was huge. So I thought those were really important keys.
Yeah, I think it was a really great performance by special teams. Start off in the first quarter, we had that Angelo Blackson field goal block, and that was incredible. I mean, I think that really set the pace for the rest of the game. Lonnie Johnson batting that ball away during the fake punt, was not expecting that fake punt, and then he just comes in, totally bats it away. Safe, no pass interference. That was great. And then great punt coverage throughout the entire game. Just a stellar performance by special teams on all fronts.
Yeah, and you talk about special teams, and then also, Tyler, you brought up B.O.B. being a good GM, and Kenny Stills had a big day as well, who came in and traded a few weeks ago. Kenny caught all three of his targets for 35 yards and 2 touchdowns that were big. So way to get open to Kenny at the right times for Deshaun and the Texans.
For sure.
Yeah. So fun fact, if y'all saw the Whitney Merciless interception and 86-yard run, he actually, it looked like he was going slow. Everybody was like, go faster, he's coming. He actually hit 17.96 miles per hour. That is a big boy.
He still got hot.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, I wish he would have made it, but that's fast,
You know
okay?
he wanted to make it, man. Those defensive players
He kept
see the
looking
end zone.
back.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, you never look back. But Texans versus the Bucks coming up this Saturday, actually. So my big question to you guys is, will the Texans continue this seesawing of subpar 1 week, really great 1 week, or will them defeating the Titans, which were a hot team at the time, will this propel them and give them the confidence that they need to really go out there on Saturday and take this division title? I'll start with Orion.
Cool. So starting with me, I think the seesawing will actually cease. I think the seesawing will cease. I think the Texans will come out, play a great game against the Bucks in Tampa because they're hurt. Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, joining their buddy Mike Evans on the wide receiver core with hamstring injury. So I think in Tampa, they go ahead and get the dub.
Yeah, don't ever want to wish injury on anyone, but would not be too upset if some of these wideouts for Tampa sat out this one. That's the only thing that really worries me is our secondary being kind of shaky just off and on throughout the year. So that's going to be what I'm watching for. And Hargraves, obviously, who plays for the Texans now, coming over from Tampa. I think he could give us an edge there if he could, obviously he knows Tampa's offense. So maybe he can help our defense out.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. That's for sure going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only thing I'm worried about is Jameis Winston is coming off a very hot streak right now. First player in NFL history to record a second consecutive 400-yard passing game.
Well, he throws the ball every single play. So.
Well, I mean, still, that's a little intimidating, but I definitely think the Texans are going to come out of the gate. Benardrick McKinney is on concussion protocol right now. How do y'all feel if he is not able to play that game on Saturday?
I think the Texans will still be okay. Obviously, it's going to affect their run protection, and Benardrick McKinney is also good in the pass protection. So I think the Texans will ultimately be fine, and hopefully he'll be able to be back for the last game of the season against the Texans. But I think they'll still be able to take on the Buccaneers and get the win.
Yeah, Tyler.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't get after the quarterback a whole lot, but he's, like Orion was saying, he does a great job stopping the run. He's been so dependable since we drafted him in 2015. He's only missed 2 games. So it's going to be weird if he does miss this one, but being a short week, I doubt the NFL is going to get him through the protocol.
Yeah.
So we'll have to make up for it. Our linebackers are hurting, especially if he's not there. Dylan Cole left a couple of weeks ago when he tore his ACL, so kind of hurting there. Secondary's hurting a little bit, but
Secondary is always hurting.
I know. But hopefully we can eat a W with Jameis and just get the win.
Another thing that is kind of in the headlines right now is going to be J.J. Watt returning potentially soon. Do y'all think that him being back into this defense is a game changer or not? And I'll start with you, Tyler.
I absolutely think so. You listen around national media lately, and a lot of guys seem to be talking like his career is over. And I get it. He's been hurt a lot over the last few seasons. It's a big deal. You got to watch that stuff. But before he got hurt this year, JJ was absolutely having an impact. And as soon as he left, you saw our pass rush pretty much go down the drain.
Yeah, it had to be remodeled.
Yeah. So whenever he left, he was second in the league in quarterback hits. And even right now, he's at 14th. He actually has 7 more quarterback hits than J.D. Clowney does, the ex-Texan.
Ha!
Yeah.
Take that.
So I think he could, if he can come back and not be risking injuring himself again, I think he definitely would make an instant impact on our defense.
Yeah. Orion, you have any thoughts?
Oh, Tyler covered it all. Defensive Player of the Year at one point. Big playmaker on the defensive line. So I think he'll definitely be a
game changer.
Yeah, be a game changer for the Texans coming back.
All right. So let's take a little look into the AFC right now. What are y'all's thoughts on the Texans' current position? Orion, I'll start with you.
I'm happy about where the Texans are. They're going to win the AFC South most likely whenever they beat the Bucs. I think they're going to beat the Bucs on Saturday. But with their spot, if the playoffs started right now, where their spot is right now, they'd be playing a team that I think would ultimately give them a lot of trouble in a playoff game, the Buffalo Bills. So I'm happy that the Texans are going to come out and win the AFC South and be the 4th seed in the playoffs, but I don't know how far they'll go.
Yeah, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, we're sitting in an ideal spot. I honestly, going into this week, was not feeling great about the Titans game. But we went to Tennessee, took care of business, got the win. So we are in control of our own destiny, which is nice. Other than that, though, I know you're not supposed to look beyond the next week, right?
True.
That's what coaches say week to week. We're going to take it one game at a time.
Yep.
But the Ravens in the AFC, I don't see right now, if they keep playing the way they are, I don't see who's going to stop them. So kind of trying to keep a positive outlook, but I guess we're in a good spot for now.
Yeah. So some important info to keep track of. Baltimore clinches home field advantage in the AFC with a win on Sunday. New England clinches the AFC East with a win over Buffalo, and Houston clinches the AFC South with the win over the Bucs this weekend.
Yeah, so hopefully the Ravens will go ahead and take care of the Browns and the Steelers, their next 2 opponents.
Ugh, that's a nail biter.
Yeah. Divisional games, you never know.
You're
It happen.
right.
The Steelers are trying to hold their 6th seed spot right now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Patriots, they have the Bills this upcoming weekend.
And I just feel like you can never count the Patriots out. We always start to this time of year, and right now they obviously are not playing well. They have a lot wrong on the offensive side of the ball. But every year, starting to get around this time, heading into the playoffs,
it's just that time.
Belichick gets them right. And
he says, hi, remember me?
Yeah. Before you know it, they're in the Super Bowl. So,
I think they'll take care of the Bills, and then they have the Dolphins, and then Chiefs rounded off at 3rd, then Texans at 4th, Bills at 5 right now, Steelers at 6. So we'll see what happens coming up.
Yeah.
Be a lot of moving and shuffling, I think.
For sure. All right, stick with us. We've got some NFC talk and a breakdown of the rest of playoffs coming up next. Welcome back to Clutch City Roundtable. I don't know if you guys saw, but on Monday night, Drew Brees broke the all-time passing touchdown record with 441 career touchdown passes. So hats off to Drew, first of all. Get this, he had only 1 incomplete pass the entire game. That is absolutely phenomenal performance. So hats off, Drew.
Also last night, Michael Thomas, he had 12 receptions on 12 targets, and he also has a chance to break the NFL record for most receptions in the season, which was set by Marvin Harrison, former Colts wide receiver, Colt guy in 2002.
Wow.
Kind of ironic.
Yeah,
that is interesting.
Anything that's going to knock a Colt off a record is going to be just fine by me. We had to be tortured by them for so many years. Peyton, Marvin, get them out of here.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it.
So Michael, he actually has 133 receptions with 2 games left in the season, and the record is 143. So
he's got that.
With how many targets he gets, he could do that in 1 game, honestly.
Wow.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, so as promised, we're going to take a dive into the NFC. teams that have clinched playoff position. Tyler, I'm going to go ahead and start with you.
So the NFC is kind of weird for me right now. I think overall there's a lot of teams that people should be scared of. A lot of teams playing really well. But then you also have the NFC East. So I'm not really sure what to think about that. There's going to be a team probably getting into the playoffs just sub 500. But other than that, I mean, you got Seattle playing great. The Niners kind of coming off a weird game, but they still have a great team.
Yeah.
Can't count them out. Russ is still in MVP talks, I think. I mean, Lamar's doing his thing, but I think Russ is right there at his heels. So NFC is going to be interesting. I think there's going to be a lot more shuffling going around in that conference than the AFC over the next 2 weeks in week 16 and 17.
Yeah, the NFC is just really, really tough. You have to, every single night, you have to be on your A game because first seed Seahawks, great team. Second seed Packers, great team. Third seed Saints, great team. Then when you know, we talked about NFC Cowboys, whatever. Then 49ers.
Right in the middle.
Yeah, right in the middle. And then 49ers Vikings. So out of those teams besides the Cowboys, looking at it, I think any of those teams could beat another one any given night. So you really have to come out and be prepared to play.
I mean, it's a very structured conference. I mean, 11-3, almost every single team. And I mean, you got the 7-7 Cowboys in the middle of it, but that's I feel like everybody's kind of on the same caliber in this conference. Dallas clinches the NFC East. How? We don't know. If they win against Philly on Sunday, and then Green Bay clinches NFC North with a win on Monday against Minnesota. So we are going to introduce a new segment on Clutch City Roundtable. We're going to call it Over or Under the Bridge with Bridge. So basically, I'm going to introduce a game to y'all. I'm going to introduce the current over and under, and I want you guys to say if you're going over it, under it, if you agree, and then I want some backing of your opinion.
Sounds
Hard
simple
facts,
enough.
okay?
Sounds good.
All right, so we're going to start with some key Week 16 matchups. Let's start with Cowboys, who were the 2.5 favorite at Eagles. Over-under is 47.5. Tyler, I'll start with you.
I'm going to definitely go under on this game. Mostly referring back to when they played on October 20th. That game was in Dallas. They totaled for 47 points. Dallas took care of business pretty well, won 37-10. It's set at 47.5 right now. I don't think they get to that same 47. I think both offenses are kind of a lot more shaky than they were earlier in the year. Not to mention they're going to be playing outside in Philadelphia. The weather could be bad. I think the under is a pretty safe bet, and would highly recommend you put some money on that.
Yes, I'm going to go with highly recommending the under as well. There's no way they put up 47.5 points or more.
No way.
But you did say the Cowboys offense is not the same as early in the year. They looked really good the other night.
Really good.
Really, really
Zeke
good against the Rams.
came out, yeah.
Zeke came out for sure. He's had 4 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, Garrett clapping a lot for sure.
Everybody knows we don't like Jason Garrett. But so I just don't think the Eagles will generate enough offense to stay with the Cowboys, but they definitely won't hit the 47.5.
For sure.
All right, next game. Patriots are the 7-point favorite against the Bills. The over-under is going to be 38.5. Tyler, I'll start with you again. Are you going to go over or under?
Okay, so I'm going to go under for this one too. And I know it's low. 38.5 is low. But here is, can I interest you in a important fact?
Why, yes, you may.
Okay, I got you. Buffalo, whenever the under is 45 or lower this year, Buffalo has got the under 10 out of 13 times.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, both teams have played 28 games combined, 14 games each. Out of those 20 games, they've gone under. So 20 out of 28 total games have been on the under.
Very interesting.
So that's why I'm rolling with the under. I know it's low. Anything could happen, but the Pats have some serious offensive trouble. So
yeah, I think you're safe with going on the under as well. Their first meeting was really low scoring as well. Super defensive game. They're both top 5 defenses in the NFL. So
that's true.
I'm going with the under as well.
All right, game number 3. We got Saints 2-point favorite at Titans. Over-under is a high one, 50.5. Tyler?
So I'm going to keep going down the same trail. I'm going under again. I think this one will be close. I think it's going to be somewhere right around that number, but I think it's going to be just a tad under 50.5. I think Tannehill is going to start slowly coming back down to earth. I feel like he's been playing out of his mind. He kind of came down a little against the Texans this week. But I think it's going to be under.
I think the complete opposite on this one.
Oh.
I think Drew Brees will continue his all-time touchdown passing record. He's going to keep shooting that thing up. So hopefully Tom Brady doesn't keep up with him.
Right.
We'll see. And I think the Saints will beat up on another AFC South opponent. So they're going to be racking up the points. But I do think Tannehill will continue to play well just because the Saints secondary is really bad. The Saints are 20th, actually, and the Titans are 25th in the NFL ranked. So with bad secondaries, 2 quarterbacks that have been hot, they're going to rack up the points. So I'm going to go over the 50.5.
Okay, cool.
All right, and to finish the game off, we're going to come back to home. Actually, we're going to go to Tampa. Texans are the 3-point favorite at Bucks. Over/under is 51.
Okay, so I'm going to go over on this one. Tampa has 11 overs hit on the year. We were talking earlier about Jameis having back-to-back 400-yard games. If his receivers need to play, make me feel a lot better about it. But if they do, I think the overs there, our secondary is just so shaky, even with Hargraves knowing their offense. So we'll have to see, but I'm going over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well, and it'll make me feel better, especially if Chris Godwin plays for the Buccaneers. It'll make me feel better about the over. Jameis is going to have his interceptions, of course, and his fumbles, but he's going to come back with a touchdown and then another touchdown. So every single turnover he has, he comes back with a touchdown every single time. So and then both secondaries are vulnerable. Texans are 28th in the league, giving up 266 pass yards per game.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the truth. And then the Bucks are even worse, allowing 278 pass yards per game, and that's 30th in the NFL. So
also, when Tampa plays teams this year that average between 21 and 25 points, it's been 6 times, all 6 times the overs hit.
Yep.
So what you're saying is you have a gambling problem and you like stats.
I mean, I'm a numbers guy. I keep all
Numbers
the numbers
guy.
in my spiral right here.
Oh, my spiral.
This is, don't
All
leave
right.
home without it.
All right, well, let's have some fun. I want to go ahead and get some, since this is the last show for 2019, I want to get some playoff picture predictions. So we're going to start with the AFC. Orion, I'm going to start with you. What is your playoff picture prediction for the end of the season?
All right, I'm excited for this one. So, at the number 1 seed, I have the Ravens. I have them winning out. I have them finishing the year at 14-2. Lamar Jackson's gonna win MVP.
Makes sense.
Second seed, I think the Patriots will hold on to the second seed because I think they'll beat the Bills.
Yeah.
So they'll win out and in the season 13-3. Third, I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs are also gonna win out. They play the Chargers and the Bears. I think they play the Bears first.
Bears
Bears first
San
and
Diego.
Chargers. The Chiefs will be able to hold on to that third spot. Texans at 4th. They'll be able to win the AFC South, of course. They'll beat the Bucks, but I do think they will lose
to the Titans again?
Yeah, I think they'll lose to the Titans. 5th spot, Bills, of course. Already clinched a playoff spot. They'll end the season 11-5. They'll lose to the Pats, but beat the Jets. And last spot, 6th seed. It's going to be a toss-up, but I think the Titans are going to do it since they're going to beat the Texans. I think the Titans are going to have a 9-7 record. They'll lose to the Saints, but they'll beat the Texans. The Steelers will also end the year 9-7, but since they're both they'll both be going 1-1 in their last games, so they'll both be 7-5 in AFC play. So the next tiebreaker is common games, which they'll both be 3-2 there.
Okay.
And then it'll come down to strength of victory. And when it comes to strength of victory, the Titans have the edge because the Titans beat the Chiefs and the Titans beat the Saints.
Gotcha.
And 2 of the Steelers' wins were against the Bengals.
Oof.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, your AFC.
Okay, so number 1, I'm going to stick with Orion. I think it's clear that the Ravens are going to be there. I don't think the Pats or anyone are going to catch them. 14-2, number 1 seed. Number 2, I have the Chiefs, actually. I'm going to have them winning out against Chicago and San Diego. And they have the tiebreaker over the Pats, who I have at number 3.
So who do you think the Pats are going to lose to?
I think the Pats lose this week to Buffalo.
Okay.
Oh,
I think
that would stir the pot.
Yeah, I think they lose to Buffalo, but then they win in Miami. So I have them right behind the Chiefs, with the Chiefs having the tiebreaker. The 4th seed, I'm going to have our own Houston Texans.
Okay.
I have them winning out against both the Bucks and Tennessee,
I
putting
agree.
them at 11-5. And then at number 5, I have Buffalo at 12-4. They will win out against New England and the Jets. And then at 6, the Steelers at 9-7. They're going to be my last team in, with Tennessee being 8-8.
Okay.
first one out. But yeah, I think the Steelers win against the Jets, lose against Baltimore, sneak in with a 9-7 record, and then have a quick exit on their way out of the playoffs.
Fair. I like it. All right, so coming up next, we're going to do our NFC playoff picture predictions, do some NCAA football, and then we will take a little look around the NBA. Welcome back to Clutch City Roundtable. We're going to do our NFC playoff picture predictions. Orion, you go ahead and start.
So the number one seed, I think, who's the number one seed right now at this current moment, will be the Seahawks. I think they win out. They'll finish the season 13-3. The Packers are 2 right now. I think they'll finish there as well. They'll win out, be 13-3. Saints, 3, win out, 13-3. Cowboys, they'll win out as well. They'll be 9-7, getting that spot. 49ers, 12-4. I think they'll beat the Rams, but they'll lose to the Seahawks to lose the NFC West. And then 6th spot, Vikings will hold it. Rams are the bubble team, but they're a whole 2 games out of it. So Vikings 11-5. They'll lose to Green Bay, but they'll beat Chicago to get in.
All right, Tyler, let's hear yours.
Gotcha. So you're not going to like this. Especially, I know how you feel about Jimmy G and the 49ers, but I have the 49ers at number 1. I think they're going to win out. I think they're going to get everything put together like it was earlier this year.
Wow.
They're going to be at 13-3. They're going to win the West, the most competitive division right now.
That's true.
And I have the Niners at 1. At 2, I have the Packers, same as you. I think they win out pretty easily and go into the playoffs in the 2 seed. Number 3, I also have the Saints. I think they're winning out. I think Tennessee and Carolina are just going to be minor speed bumps for them. And then number 4, I actually have the Eagles. I don't think these Cowboys are going anywhere. I think there's too much going on. I think the Garrett stuff is happening. And it's kind of just wishful thinking on my part, too, because I don't want to hear it.
Gotcha.
But I have the Eagles at 9-7 and going in with the 4th seed. They're winning out. Number 5, I have the Seahawks. Unfortunately for them, drops them to number 5, even with their record being what it will be at 12-4. So number 6, I have the Vikings at 11-5. They'll lose to Green Bay, win in Chicago. So that would make our matchups the Vikings at Saints and the Seahawks at Eagles. And I know everyone will be excited about that Vikings and Saints game.
That is going to be a good one. All right, so moral of the story, we'll see how smart these guys actually are in a couple weeks and see who's closer to correct. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and break down college football playoffs. December 28th is going to be a very interesting one. We've got LSU versus OU in the Peach Bowl at 4 o'clock. And then we've got Clemson versus Ohio State in the Fiesta Bowl at 6 o'clock. All right, so I'm going to get predictions from everybody. I'll go ahead and start. I think that LSU will defeat OU, and it will be a convincing win. Ogeron, Burrow, and the LSU secondary will prove dominant yet again. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was pretty interesting. At the Atlanta Zoo, Yang Yang the panda actually picked OU to win. It crawled over to the box.
That's a stupid panda.
Forget that panda.
But Yang Yang, I'm sorry, I'm going to disagree with you. I think LSU will take this one. Orion, go ahead and give me yours.
Yeah, I think the Heisman Trophy winner, Joe Burrow, and the LSU Tigers will take it to the Sooners. So in the past 5 years of the college football playoff, since it's been around, only one number 1 seeded team has lost in the semifinal, and that was Clemson to Alabama in 2018. So I'm going to go with history there. It's only been 5 years, but I'm still going to stick with it. Yeah. LSU goes ahead and takes the win.
All right, Tyler?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bloodbath. I think LSU is just going to absolutely destroy OU. The spread right now is LSU minus 14. I think they're going to cover that easily. Coach O's going to have them ready. Burrow, what he did to SEC defenses all year, he's going to do to this OU defense, but much worse. So, yeah, LSU is going to move on for sure.
But I don't think that LSU covers. I think OU loses by 10 or less.
Okay. And I've become more of a believer in Jalen this year. I was a big Jalen hater at Bama.
Yeah.
But watching him this year, given it's Big 12, but he's made a believer out of me. I think he's a good quarterback, but
this game's so interesting because they're 2 transfer quarterbacks who have excelled beyond belief.
Yes. And they're both really confident.
Yeah.
And they've really grown into their role on the team.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see.
All right, Ohio State versus Clemson. I am saying Ohio State will defeat Clemson. I think it is going to be a close game. However, I believe Clemson's weak schedule will prove to be a factor. Ohio State has the number 1 ranked scoring offense, and Clemson has the number 1 ranked scoring defense. So I think it's going to be a great game to watch, but I do think Ohio State will come out on top. Tyler, you go.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think Ohio State is going to take this one. I think Clemson's schedule has not been the hardest this year. And Justin Fields is going to come out and I think actually outperform Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Sunshine's a great quarterback, but Justin Fields has been balling, and he's been balling injured. Coach Day just said today in an interview that he expects him to come out at 100% health. So I think they're going to win. It'll be close, but I think OSU is going to take this one.
Yeah, it's for sure a toss-up. And I think it's going to be like an instant classic. It'll just be one of those games where the energy's great and both teams are just putting up points. It kind of reminds me of last year in the NFL, actually, when the Rams and Chiefs were about to play, and they had those big offenses, and they were scoring 40 points a game. At one point, both teams were. And then, but I'm going to go on the contrary on y'all. I think Clemson is going to win the game. I think Dabo Swinney, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, they've been there. They have the experience.
They have.
They're the reigning defending champs. I think they're going to take it to Ohio State. I think Justin Fields' inexperience will finally show for the first time against Clemson's defense.
All right, hot take. Yeah. All right, well, let's make it interesting. Let's do a bet. All right, so whoever has the accurate prediction has to wear the winner's alma mater to the next show.
I ain't wearing no A&M nothing. I ain't wearing none of that.
Come on, how confident are you?
We don't want to be wearing no
We don't want to wear burnt orange.
That's such an ugly color.
Burnt orange. But no, we can do it.
All right.
We can do it.
Cool.
All right, so then on the 29th, we'll go ahead and stick to your colors. 29th at 6:30, the Alamo Bowl. UT versus Utah. That's going to be an interesting one, in my opinion. I think Zach Moss, 1,359 yards, is totally going to wreck Texas. I'm sorry. 17 total touchdowns this season. He is going to run all over y'all. I'm sorry. But it's going to be a battle of Texas's defense against Utah's O-line. So I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, you talk about Texas defense, and they haven't been what we thought they were going to be this season, but it's because of injuries. And so I think, hopefully, the wait between now and that game, those players can get healthy. They'll be at home for Christmas. The Christmas spirit might lift their spirits. You never know.
Sure.
So hopefully they're healthy and back ready to play. And then everybody's saying Utah, Utes, they're top 5 in the nation all year. We said the same thing last year before Texas played Georgia. Everybody was counting Texas out. SEC was going to dominate. Look what happened. Longhorns came on.
Fair. All right. Well, then we've got Texas A&M Aggies against Oklahoma State Cowboys in the Texas Bowl right here at NRG. It is going to kick off December 27th at 5:45. I think this is going to be an interesting one. It's two former Big 12 matchup rivals. Last time they played was September 24th, 2011. So it's been a while. A&M lost, so I think A&M definitely has something to fight for. We're holding that, we say SEC pride. SEC is the best conference in the nation. Well, time to prove it. Time to prove that we do belong in the SEC. A&M is actually currently the 7-point favorite. I'm going to agree with that, obviously. I think my Ags are going to go ahead and take this one, hopefully, because I got a lot of money on it. But I think sophomore running back Hubbard for OSU is going to be a definite problem for us. And we will be without Justin Matabuke. So that's going to hurt.
That's a
He
tough
entered
loss.
the draft. That's going to be a tough loss for this one. But I do think the Ags will come out on top. Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about us -7. That kind of worries me. I just don't know. I think we're going to be struggling. I think it's all going to come down to Mond. If Mond can get it going on the ground, and if we can draw up some plays to get him easy throws at the very beginning of the game, we might have a close game. I don't think there's any way we blow them out. I just hope we find a way to win.
Yeah.
I hope Jimbo can find a way to just somehow end on a high note this year, but we'll see.
I'm over the season, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, but because it is our last episode of 2019, we've got to get to NBA Christmas games. So let's go ahead and start the merry day off. We got Boston at Toronto. Orion, I'll let you go ahead and take this one.
Yeah, so we got the Celtics in Toronto, like you just said. It'll be their second meeting this season. So Boston won the first meeting 112-106. For the Celtics, Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum, they're leading the way. Kemba Walker's averaging 23 points per game and 5 assists. Jason Tatum's averaging 20.6 points per game and 7 rebounds. So the Celtics are looking good. They got Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward just got hurt a couple of nights ago and got hit in his face. Didn't have a concussion, but he's still sitting out. Marcus Smart is back. So the Celtics are looking good so far. And the Raptors are looking good too, but they're just not the same without Kawhi. It's just not the same team. They don't have that it factor to me anymore.
Yeah.
Despite Pascal Siakam coming, he's really emerged as a superstar in the NBA, honestly. He's averaging 25 points per game and 8 rebounds a game. And Kyle Lowry also has been out of the lineup the past few games with a fractured left thumb, but he's back in the lineup now. So it should be an exciting game, and I think Boston's going to take this meeting as well.
Interesting. All right, we got Bucks at 76ers.
So this is actually the Bucks and 76ers first time playing this season. And the Bucks actually, they were on an 18-game win streak, but a few nights ago they played the Dallas Mavericks actually without Luka. Luka did not play, and the Bucks had their 18-game win streak ended. Reigning MVP Giannis, he actually 48 points and 14 rebounds in a loss.
Wow.
48 points and 14 rebounds in a loss. That's absurd. So he's been tearing it up. And then the Sixers have been playing well. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Al Horford, they're stacked there. But I think the 76ers will prevail and win in Philadelphia for that game as well.
All right, let's take it home. Rockets at Warriors. Actually,
Ugh.
That's going to be, and actually, I don't even think that's going to be the worst game of the day. I think it's going to be the second worst game of the day. I think James Harden will come through. He'll have a big game, probably another 50-point, 60-point performance against the Warriors that are abysmal. They go from the top of the West last year to the very bottom this year. So
Injury bug. Yeah, it'll hurt you.
Yep. All right, Clippers at Lakers. It's going to be a big one.
So this is going to be, I think, maybe the game of the regular season. The biggest game of the year.
Wow.
I'm very excited for this game. I think it's going to be the Western Conference Finals matchup, obviously, unless something catastrophic happens, like one of them gets hurt.
Injuries.
Injuries. But it's going to be the best two duos in the NBA playing against each other. Obviously, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard versus LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Right. Paul George did not play in the first meeting in the first game of the year that the Clippers actually won. And then the Lakers, though, they're a completely different team now. Absolute terror right now. They're on a 14-game road win streak.
That's crazy.
They've won 14 road games in a row. That's pretty incredible. LeBron and AD are both in MVP race. Point guard LeBron is averaging 26 points per game, 10.7 assists and 7 rebounds. AD is averaging 27.4 points per game and 9.3 rebounds per game, which both the AD stats actually lead the Lakers in both rebounds and points. The bench has also been playing good for the Lakers, and then we obviously know the Clippers have a good bench.
Best player in that game, you can't forget, Alex Caruso, you know.
Yeah, he is a GOAT. I love me some Alex Caruso. I'm not going to lie. I might be a Longhorn. I do love Alex Caruso, very good player.
That's my dude.
So both teams are playing well. The Clippers have won 4 of their last 5 games. But I think the Lakers are going to take this one. They're going to be the home team. It's going to be at Staples Center, but the Clippers were the home team the first game, and then the Lakers are the home team this one.
Yeah.
But I think the Lakers are going to go ahead and take it to the Clippers.
I think I agree. I think LeBron does what he does on a Christmas Day game and takes it home.
Yep.
All right, well, I think that wraps up 2019 for us. Thank you so much for tuning in to Clutch City Roundtable. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas, a Meowie Christmas, and a Happy New Year, and we will all see you next year. We'll see you next year.
See you next year. This guy will be wearing maroon.
Oh, gosh.